It doesn't. There's no version of hustling hard. You never feel like the world owes you anything. It doesn't. There's no version of hustling harder or smarter that involves relying on the assumption that someone is going to do anything for you. You must accept that it's all on you. That might seem like a very cynical way to view the world, but I would argue that it's actually liberating. You can only feel betrayal when you feel like you're owed something from someone. You can only feel resentment when you had expectations for assistance. When you accept that it's all on you, only then can you finally be free to focus 100% on being the best version of yourself. There's a reason I can get up and go to the gym after only a couple of hours of sleep, or have the stamina to work consecutive 18-hour days. I prioritize leading a very clean lifestyle. Unlike most of my peers, I largely abstain from alcohol. I will have a rare drink from time to time, but that's it. I've never missed a session at the gym, a meeting, or an early morning flight because I had too much to drink the night before. That doesn't stop me from going out and partying. I'm still in the clubs. I just don't need booze to enjoy myself. If I'm at an event promoting Branson Cognac or Le Chemin Noir Champagne, or one of my other alcohol brands, I have a routine I always follow. First, I pour drinks from a bottle of champagne for everyone who's in VIP with me. When the bottle is empty, I'll give it to one of my guys and have them quietly refill it with ginger ale. For the rest of the night, I'll have that bottle in my hand. I'll take sweets every now and then just to keep the vibe right, but I'm not drinking anything but Canada Dry. My energy is the same as everyone else's. I'm smiling and laughing, maybe even doing a little two-step to the music. I'm also checking out everything that's going on around me, making hundreds of little calculations in my mind. A lot of artists want to stay away from the clubs once they get famous. That world starts to feel too chaotic, too dangerous for them. They'd rather stay home than find themselves in a hot, sweaty place where the energy is turned all the way up, but something bad can always pop off. That's never an issue for me. I always have my head on straight, and my judgment is never impaired. I can see issues coming from a mile away and be long gone before a situation gets serious. Being able to still hang out with people is the real advantage for me. The clubs have always been and always will be the incubator of whatever is coming up next in hip-hop. It's very hard to stay relevant and keep your finger on the pulse of the culture if you're afraid to go out and absorb the music in the club setting. Staying sober in a setting where everyone else is drinking can open up all sorts of opportunities for you. Let's say your boss invites you and all your coworkers out to drink on a Friday night. Normally, you might take full advantage of the company's credit card and get trashed. It's understandable. You've been working hard all week and want to let off some steam. Doing it on the company's tab makes it that much more appealing. But next time you get that offer, as tempting as it might be to let your boss get you that beer or vodka and cranberry, just get a seltzer instead. You don't even have to announce what you're doing. Stick a lime in there, and it will look like you're enjoying a gin and tonic of your own. As the evening progresses, you'll probably start to notice how sloppy everyone else is getting, how they're starting to let down the facades they work so hard to keep up at the office. If there's information you've been looking to get out of your coworkers, or even your boss, this is the time to get it. Your normally tight-lipped coworkers will be more than happy to tell you what projects they're working on, or what they overheard your boss saying about the future of the company. Put a couple of drinks in most people, and they will tell you almost anything with a little coaxing. Outside of the competitive advantage you can gain from not drinking, I'm also hyper-aware of the damage alcohol abuse can cause. I've seen it firsthand. When I moved into my grandmother's house after my mother died, a few of my aunts and uncles were full-blown alcoholics. I had one uncle in particular who was a cool guy most of the time, but put a few drinks in him, and all of a sudden he became Marvin Hagler. Every comment, no matter how innocent, was taken as an insult, and he'd want to put hands up, even with a 9-year-old. My reaction was to stay out of his way as much as possible, but even from that distance, it was still very clear to see that all booze did was bring out his weakness and render his character unstable. And it wasn't just him. Across the board, it seemed that people in my immediate family were prone to alcoholism. There's a lot of evidence out there that alcoholism is hereditary. If it seems to run in your family, sticking with ginger ale might not just be about getting a competitive edge. It might be about keeping yourself out of a lifelong state of dysfunction and addiction. Another advantage I have over my competition, especially within hip-hop, is that I also don't mess with drugs. To hear some rappers tell it, drugs open up a pathway to creativity. They claim they do their best work when they're high. They might feel that way, but in my experience, drugs ultimately become a crutch, something rappers can lean on when they're feeling insecure or lacking focus. They might be helpful when you're getting started, but you're never going to go too far when you need a crutch to move forward. I witness this all the time in the studio. I know so many rappers who honestly don't believe they can make good music without being high in one way or another. They wouldn't dream of getting in the booth if there's no liquor to sip or weed to smoke. They're completely fearful that without that support, they can't perform or properly connect with the music they're trying to make. My thought has always been, suppose that crutch isn't available. What if you're at the studio and suddenly get a call that Dr. Dre is coming through and want you to record a verse for him? Or Just Blaze, Timberland, or Mustard is coming through? You're gonna tell one of these guys you can't record until someone runs and gets you a bottle, or until the weed man rolls through? That opportunity might have passed by the time your man comes back. If you're a true creator, you have to be able to practice your craft in any situation. It's imperative that you create your own comfort zone without depending on any substance for help. Yes, you might believe the weed makes you a better writer, or the liquor makes it easier to be yourself. But you also need the confidence to know that you can do it without them. Otherwise, you're never going to be in total control of your own situation. No matter what situation or setting you find yourself in, you don't ever want to depend on anything or any other person to make you feel in control and comfortable. That sense of confidence should always come from within, not from an external source. To be clear, I don't judge people who do like to drink and smoke. In fact, I'm happy to sell you a bottle of Le Shipment du Noir to help you celebrate the next time you're out partying. All that I ask is that you're honest of your appraisal of the role drugs and alcohol play in your life. Some people are able to truly be social drinkers or smokers. They enjoy participating in social settings, but they can also just as easily go without. They can have a bottle of booze in their kitchen or a bag of weed in their dresser and never feel the urge to consume it. I can have cases of Branson Cognac or Le Chemin Noir champagne in my office and never think about it until it's time to do an event. Someone else might be tempted to crack open a bottle every single time they walk by, or they might start drinking a whole bottle every day on the sly. If alcohol or drugs have that sort of pull on you, it's important that you address it head on. It's going to require a lot of discipline and focus, but you can build a lifestyle for yourself that doesn't need to be fueled by booze or drugs to get things done. I also understand that it can feel very overwhelming when you're the one person in your circle who doesn't drink or smoke. It can be hard, but I've been that person for years, and I've always managed to abstain, so it is possible. I doubt there's anyone in the history of the world who has said no to more blunts or booze than me. I've spent hours in cafes in Amsterdam where everyone in G-Unit was blowing ruler-sized blunts in my face. I might have gotten a contact high, but I never took a hit. Snoop Dogg, B Real, Redman, Method Man, Wiz Khalifa, I've hung with all those dudes. I have a great time with them, but I choose not to smoke with them. And please don't say, well, they probably leave you alone because you're 50 Cent. Nothing could be further from the truth. Everyone wants to be the one to finally get me to smoke. I'm like the pretty girl who won't date anyone, so everyone wants to ask me out, but I just keep saying no. For example, I recently hosted my tycoon party in NYC, and Snoop was one of my special guests. So when he tried to pass one of his blunts my way, everyone around started cheering for me to hit it. Not wanting to kill the mood, I took a big hit, and then just let the smoke swirl around in my mouth before I blew it back out. That's as far as it went. Bill Clinton has probably inhaled more weed smoke than me. Everyone was excited that I'd taken a hit, but there was no way I was actually inhaling that weed, especially something as strong as the stuff Snoop smokes. The very few times I've smoked has made me extremely paranoid. So why would I get high surrounded by 1,000 people, all pushed up together, and I'm the one in charge of the entire event? I wouldn't have been enjoying the music if I had him. I would have been freaking the fuck out of all the things that could have been going wrong at my event. I'm always at my most comfortable when I'm in complete control of my surroundings, and that's very hard